Peace and all good, my brother, my sister. Come, sit with me for a moment. Do not hurry past this hour. Do not carry the noise of the world into this place. I am Francis, a poor man of Assisi, and I greet you not as a teacher, but as a fellow traveler, one who has learned, slowly and often painfully, how easy it is for the soul to forget how to listen. If you have come here weary, distracted, or restless of heart, you are not alone. Many believe the greatest danger to the soul is open sin or loud rebellion. But I tell you gently, the soul is more often lost in constant motion, in endless noise, in a life so full that God is never truly heard. Tonight, I will speak to you of silence, not the silence of emptiness, but the silence where truth waits patiently to be received. This is not a story meant to frighten you. It is meant to invite you. So lay down your hurry. Set aside your distractions. And remain here with me a little while. For God is already near. And He speaks most clearly when the world finally grows quiet. I remember when silence still lived comfortably among us. Before the bells, before the market stirred, before voices learned to overlap one another, there were moments when the world breathed slowly. In those moments, the heart could hear itself. But slowly, I watched the people of Assisi grow uneasy with stillness. They filled it with footsteps, with conversation, with laughter that arrived too quickly and left too quickly. One morning, as I walked near the olive groves where the dew still clung to the leaves, a man hurried past me. His cloak was neat, his hands clean, his face alert, but never resting. "Brother Francis," he called, slowing just enough to be polite. "How do you endure the quiet?" I looked at him carefully, because his question carried fear, though he did not know it. "I do not endure it," I answered. "I remain in it." He smiled, uncertain, then continued walking, faster than before. As he disappeared down the road, a sadness settled over me. Not because the man was sinful, but because he was fleeing a place where God often waits. That night, I knelt alone, the stone floor cold beneath my knees, the world hushed except for my breath. It was then that the Lord allowed me to see, not with my eyes, but with my spirit. I saw a soul, not in death, not in judgment, but alive. The soul moved constantly, from house to house, from task to task, from sound to sound. Even its prayers were hurried, spoken as one checks a box before moving on. The soul did not reject God. It simply never stopped long enough to hear Him. When silence approached, the soul filled it. With work, with words, with even good intentions. And the Lord said to me, "Francis, this soul fears stillness more than it fears sin." The word struck me harder than any rebuke, because sin wounds openly, but fear of silence numbs quietly. As the vision unfolded, I saw why the soul kept moving. Silence asked questions the soul did not want to answer. In silence, old grief surfaced. In silence, guilt remembered its name. In silence, God spoke without disguise. So the soul learned to stay busy, not out of wickedness, but out of self-preservation. Whenever conviction rose, the soul distracted itself. Whenever repentance neared, the soul postponed reflection. Whenever God whispered, the soul drowned Him out with motion. I understood then a truth that made me tremble. The enemy does not always tempt with evil. Sometimes he offers productivity. Then the Lord showed me the moment the soul could no longer escape. The world grew quiet, not gradually, but completely. No voices, no footsteps, no tasks demanding attention, just silence. At first, the soul panicked. It reached for something familiar, anything to fill the space. but there was nothing left. And in that stillness, the heart opened against its will. Grief surfaced, untended and aching. Regrets emerged, long buried but alive. Prayers rose, not practiced, but desperate. The soul cried out, not in anger, but in confusion. I did not know all of this was still inside me. And the Lord answered gently. Then the vision grew heavier. I saw a life lived fully, years passed, duties fulfilled, faith maintained outwardly, but silence never welcomed. When death came, it came quietly, and suddenly the noise stopped forever. The soul stood exposed, unpracticed in stillness, untrained to remain before God without distraction. Not condemned, but unprepared. And I understood a terrible mercy. A soul that never learned silence in life will find eternity overwhelming, because eternity does not distract. It reveals. It was never gone. You simply never listened long enough to hear it. Then the vision grew heavier. I saw a life lived fully, years passed, duties fulfilled, faith maintained outwardly, but silence never welcomed. When death came, it came quietly, and suddenly the noise stopped forever. The soul stood exposed, unpracticed in stillness, untrained to remain before God without distraction. Not condemned, but unprepared. And I understood a terrible mercy. A soul that never learned silence in life will find eternity overwhelming, because eternity does not distract. It reveals. When the vision faded, I remained kneeling long after the night grew pale. I understood why the Lord had drawn me away from wealth, applause, and constant speech, not to punish me, but to teach my soul how to stay. Silence is not emptiness. It is where the soul learns to stand without fleeing. It is where God speaks, not loudly, but truthfully. My brothers, my sisters, before you leave this place, before the world's noise finds you again, remain still for one last moment. Do not measure this story by how it made you feel, but by what it gently uncovered within you. Silence is not the absence of life. It is the place where life tells the truth. If you have been afraid of stillness, know this: you are not weak for it. You are human. Many run from silence because silence remembers what we have tried to forget. It brings back the prayers we delayed, the wounds we avoided, the love we meant to give but postponed. Yet do not fear what rises in the quiet. God does not expose the heart to shame it. He exposes it to heal it. I have learned that the soul does not lose its way suddenly. It drifts, little by little, by choosing noise over presence, movement over listening, distraction over surrender. And because this drifting feels harmless, it is rarely questioned. But one day, the noise will fall away, not as punishment, but as truth, and the soul will stand as it has practiced standing all along. This is why I beg you, gently, as a brother, learn to remain. Remain when prayer feels empty. Remain when the heart feels restless. Remain when silence feels uncomfortable. Do not fill every moment with words. Do not rush away when God draws near quietly. Sit. Listen. Let the soul breathe. If you can learn to rest in silence now, you will not fear eternity when it comes. You will recognize it. For eternity is not loud. It is still. And in that stillness, God has been waiting for you, not with anger, but with patience, with mercy, and with a love that has never raised its voice. Go now in peace. But do not forget how to be still. For God speaks softly, and He is speaking even now.